So inside of the Grow Garden update, right, in the new kitchen storm, hold on, let me fix my mic. There are a ton of little things throughout the update that you probably missed, and some of them are absolutely wild. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you both everything you probably missed in the new Grow Garden update, and alongside that, just in general stuff, you should probably start taking advantage of inside of the update that you might have, overlooked or, thought less of. So first things first, obviously, once again, we're giving away a bunch of these culinary chests. So if you want to enter into the giveaway, all you gotta do, subscribe and like and comment your username on this video. But obviously, first things first. So we're gonna be using the update log, list for this. And I'm gonna be pointing out a few things if obviously you don't read the update log. So side of the update logs, obviously there are some cool things. So one of the main ones I would say just right off the bat is there's a bunch of new recipes. One of them is called I think it's Jandel salad, or Jandel soup, maybe. Yeah. Secret admin Jandel soup, yeah, that one. So that one's pretty cool. So currently, no one's figured out the recipe, but once again, check out my website, linked in the description. We have all of the current recipes. I'll update it once we figure out that, but really overpowered. So once again, there's like a secret thing like that. Additionally, during the admin abuse thing in section during the, with Flamingo, absolutely hilarious when they spam junk bots and all the different stuff. We have, if you didn't realize, the oil or boil is a reference back to a while ago, whenever they raided a Roblox live event with the junk bot character, and they would like crash the game and like genuinely ruined it because they had back then, right, a few 100,000 people would ruin Roblox. So they had hundreds of thousands of people joining. And it was just a reference back to that, which was cool to see a bit of, childhood or previous stuff I used to watch. Nextly, we have a new weather event. So this is going to be the Kitchen Storm, the one, the whole event's titled around. So Kitchen Storm, so right here, which is going to be activated at this thing right here. So if you get a prismatic, Transcendent, I believe, is 19 points of contribution. So for me, where I would get a really big plant, a really big thing, and then I would contribute it, right? Like a really, really big, food that had a ton of mutations and all that. And it'd give 19 points to this. I do 3 of them and it goes all the way over 40. And now what this triggers is the Kitchen Storm event. So obviously, if you haven't messed around with it, then that'll activate the Kitchen Storm event. And then there's different stages to this. Each additional stage, I believe, pushes the multiplier faster. So you get a better chance for the mutations on your things to carry over to the next thing. So when you have a mutation on, the plants that you put into the crafting and ingredient list, there's a chance the mutations on those go over to the actual food, which increase the plant or the food's value. So things like that, it will increase that chance of that actually happening. And it also makes the cook time way shorter. And I believe each stage it just progressively gets faster and faster. So the event lasts for, I believe, 10 minutes. And you also have a chance to get the aromic aromic mutation. They have a shard for it, I believe, but I think I probably put that on a pet. Anyways, yeah, it's somewhere, but it's that, aromatic, that mutation. So that probably means something. I'm not really gonna care to look it up, but you can get that mutation out of it. Secondly, another thing to know, if obviously, you've ever had, the amazing chance of getting a super seed, right? And you use that said super seed and you get some cool plant, like a golden cactus. My best is a golden sugar apple, but it's on a secondary plot. So this is my main plot that's absolutely covered with all sorts of crap, right? If you were to reclaim it, it would ruin that. They added officially in the update logs at the very bottom, you can now reclaim golden rainbow plants, which is awesome that they added this. So now you can officially, claim golden rainbow plants, and the seed, you'll be a secondary and a new seed, and it'll say, gold sugar apple, gold whatever, and you can have that. So if they do ever add trading into the game, that's going to be absurdly overpowered. And additionally, another thing they added was the ability for overlapping weather events. So it used to be where only one weather event could be active at once, and weather events are randomly activated at random times and all of that. Now there's a chance for it actually to happen. So you could have an aurora and snow and stuff like that, just random ones multiply happening at the same time. Really good, especially because most weather-based mutations and all that, you can grind faster because of this. Additionally, they also added pet inventory. So this one, obviously you probably noticed, but there's now slots. So you can have your 3 different slots. So this has been in the, I have the testing server, right? This has been in the testing server for weeks, but they just now added it because obviously there's probably dupe problems all around it, but we got this finally. So really overpowered because, right, I have this one, which is just all of my main best ones, and I'm running something. But then if I want to have a leveling one where I have the capybara, a bunch of capybaras and all around the pancake stacks, and then a single pet that I'm leveling up, you can do something like that. But you can just have these different ones, and it's really, really overpowered for things like that. Additionally, in the cosmetics section, I think they said they added a utility tabs Yeah. So you can click on this one right here. And so then there were different variants. So you had like things like this, machine cosmetics, then there were statue cosmetics, and then there were signs, and then you could view gnomes and all that. But then we have this one, which is utility cosmetics. So things like the pancake stacks, you know, the jump pads, and then this one that combines with the Nihon Zaru pet. We have access to view all of those independently, you know, so you don't have to scroll through all of that, which is pretty nice. And they also added, this was probably my favorite thing to see. They added a pity system, which is probably one of the best things by far. So if you ever, you know, are going absurdly pay to win and you just can't seem to get anything, they added a pity system. So for example, you get a guaranteed king cabbage after 75 chests. You get a guaranteed whatever the crap that is, the lobster thermidor, you get a guaranteed one after 100 chests, and then a rainbow variant of everything after 125 chests. So very, very good that they finally integrated, you know, system around that. So pity system, people have been asking for this for a while, like literally. So it's finally nice to have something like that. And they also improved the way the French fry ferret passive works. So if you're wondering how that was, I can pull up the change log. So the French fry ferret has a friendly fryer ability. So every, you know, about an hour, they'll increase the random pet level by 1. This ability cannot be mimicked or refreshed. One thing to note, you know, might be like, oh yeah, that's, you know, horrible. It's only 1 level every hour. It takes hours to get, like, say from like 95 to 96. So something like that is actually not bad, to be honest. So I think it got buffed, so it's actually easier to, like, the ability is faster and has a chance to be better than just, you know, 1 level. Additionally, we also had, they slightly nerfed the mochi mouse. I don't know why, because it kind of sucked in the first place. So originally, I believe it was currently running. It's called a Mochi Marathon, grants bonus experience per second gained to all active food or food type pets, and then occasionally gains bonus XP. So they kind of nerfed it to a specific amount. So one of the main things that we're looking at is, so I might have one still, I kind of deleted a ton of them. So there's all these different colorways, which I really do like this. So there's a chance, well, they added this, there's a chance for any section of it have its color randomized. So this thing on the back can be random colors, you know, the face, size, and all this can be different colors. So there's red, cyan, yellow, purple, lime, orange, and rainbow. So rainbow is, you know, like just a gradient, but there's a chance to like have different color versions. So rainbow's kind of cool. Obviously, you know, value could be different depending on different cares. And if I do believe if you have every color, there might be a passive buff to that. But additionally, they also added this recipe index book right here, which obviously, you know, we have my website with every recipe on it if you're wanting to craft new stuff. But they did say that they're probably going to, so I have a screenshot of this back whenever it was going to be added. So they were going to add in an actual index, not just like an index for this. So I don't know like when or why, but this was a leak I found. So as you see, there's like an index for everything. Might be rewards for around this, but they were going to be adding an index soon, and hopefully, you know, just for everything with like rewards based on percentage of completion. But for the most part, you know, comment down below if you notice any of these changes. I, for one, didn't even realize they added a pity system, which I find, you know, thankfully they added something like that. And I do think that is applicable to the normal one. But besides that, that's pretty much it for the video. If this helped you out or you know, enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like and we'll see you on the next one.